Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 2024, and for me, it shall be a day that I never forget. I'm 43 years old, and as of today, this house is completely paid for. I have no mortgage, nor do I have any debts. And this has been years in the making. And I recognize, I've looked it up, it is unusual to be in the United States and to outright own your home. The average age to pay off your mortgage is closer to age 62, whereas I'm 43, so I'm about 20 years ahead of that curve there. Here's what it makes me think of. I was born in 1981, so growing up, I grew up with the old school Atari games, the old school arcade games, where basically you just keep playing until you eventually die. Each level gets progressively harder. At some point, maybe it's just repeating. We don't really know. No one's actually ever beat the game. Like Pac-Man, it's one of those things. You don't know anybody who's ever beat the game. You just see how far you can get. And it feels like that's what it's like to be an American with a mortgage, especially, it's this concept, it's part of being an adult, right? You have this hanging over you. And now I've actually beat this impossible game. So this is day one. Like this morning, my wife made the final payment. There's nothing else showing. And it really is interesting because I feel like there's this concept in marketing that we are taught to somehow believe that the bank is our friend or they're like our family. It's really a silly marketing concept. It makes me think of how when I'm driving on the interstate and I'll see billboards and it'll say something like, it'll be a restaurant. It'll be like hand-dipped chicken fingers, hand-spun ice cream. Dude, I don't want your hands in my food. Pass. It's like, that's a very weird marketing perspective, putting your hands in my food. Well, I guess it makes it seem more personal. Well, on somewhat of a related note is the weird marketing that the bank is your friend. Or I even saw I saw a billboard, another billboard, and it said something like, it had the name of the bank, and it said, "We're your bank, except we're like your family." No, you're not. You're not like my family. You're not like my friends. And what's funny is the bank doesn't care about you. We've paid off our mortgage 20 years ahead of schedule compared to the average American. Do you think that there's some kind of party, confetti? Woo! No. I mean, they have nothing to say. It's complete anticlimactic when you pay it off. They're not excited for you. They need to reel you in. Okay, can you buy a boat so we can get another loan? How about you buy more property and get a loan for it? In reality, what we're planning to do, my wife and I, is to, now that we have absolutely no debts and no mortgage, to start investing the money that we're now making, because we both work full time. I've got my side jobs too. So that money is thousands of dollars a month are going to go to savings and specifically investing. So that's where I'm at. I'm making this video in real time. I mean, this is my first, it hasn't even been a full day yet. It just happened this morning and now it's the evening. It's an interesting situation to be in, because when you had this hanging over your head your entire adult life and now it's gone, it's a little bit existential. But I've been preparing for it probably for years, because I've felt it coming, I've seen it coming, and I knew that we would be able to do it if we stayed on course, which we have. But it makes me think of the game Animal Crossing. So 20 years ago, I was in college, I was in my senior year, and my sister and I shared an apartment. And while I was away at class, she would play Animal Crossing and vice versa. So we would both have our separate games and, oh man, you're ahead of me, wow. Well, my sister eventually paid off her mortgage. And that's kind of the whole point of the game, Animal Crossing. This is GameCube, by the way, that I'm describing. And so she did that. She beat me, basically. She paid off her mortgage before me. What's funny is in real life, she paid hers off a year and a half ago. So despite being 3 years younger, she's paid off her mortgage in real life and in the game. So it is interesting, because just because this major problem goes away doesn't mean I have no problems anymore. It's a matter of now I have to think, okay, what do I do with that energy? What do I do with that motivation? And what do we do with this income now? Well, because we've been so disciplined in all these years to do this, we will now allocate that towards, again, savings and investing. And to be clear, I want to be clear on this. We didn't win the lottery. We didn't get some big inheritance. We didn't invest in Bitcoin, nothing cool like that. We simply follow the Dave Ramsey concept, the Robert Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad. We did everything we could to get out of debt as quickly as possible, and then started paying extra on our mortgage payments. I've worked a lot of side hustles over the years. That's ultimately what created my YouTube channel 9.5 years ago, is because I saw a documentary on Netflix saying that, oh, you can make money. And that's why I've always really focused on doing videos that are more so what people want to watch and what people are already searching for, more so than what I actually care about. I have a feeling this video will do okay because it's pretty unique, but for the most part, I have to cater to the algorithm. Whatever people are already engaging with, that's what I tune into. But see, that's the whole point though, that even my YouTube channel, which is 9.5 years old, it was created 100% so that I could make side income to help get out of debt at the time, and then to start paying extra on the mortgage. So I make this video because it gives you sort of a behind the scenes look at a YouTuber, like persona aside, okay? Stage presence aside, is an actual guy who's married and has kids and did have a mortgage up until this morning. And now what does my life look like moving forward? And because my life will never be the same. I mean, it is highly unusual to pay off your mortgage at this age. I mean, there are people younger than me that have done it. There are, but it's pretty uncommon. And so specifically, it puts us in a situation where, again, we can start looking at investing. Now, I'm not going to say that my next goal is to become a multimillionaire, but I think that's kind of the track that we're on. Dave Ramsey this year had released a study that showed people who are most likely to become millionaires. And it was something like engineers, attorneys, managers, teachers. And so ultimately what's funny is my wife and I both have an education background, and we both currently work in management. So we both have this mental discipline that all this structure, things have to be a certain way of process for when you have an education background and when you're managing things. It translates very well to getting yourself out of debt, getting ahead financially. And I want to be clear, we're not millionaires. We're still in the middle class. We are. But see, that's kind of the life hack. That's the cheat code, is that we're making decent money in middle class, as far as middle class terms, but with no mortgage and zero debt. I mean, our cars have been paid off for years. So it puts us in a situation where even though we're still in the middle class, we're kind of in a different level now. So that's my story. I'm happy to answer questions. If this is interesting, I'm happy to talk about it more. As of today, I'm officially mortgage free at age 43. Your comments belong right here.